Hey everybody, it is Asic Eric. Long time no see. Gonna get back on the quarter panel today. I've been doing some contract work lately to help pay the bill since I haven't had a job since earlier in the year, voluntarily. For those of you that didn't know, I've been taking a break. That's why I've been working on the car so much. But anyway, an opportunity came up to do some contract work for my old employer. So it was a 1 month contract, so I did that. So it's kind of taken me away from this, but that's just about done. So I'm gonna try and wrap this thing up here in the next few days. So today, just gonna be going through and putting more welds along in through here. Try and get this guy done. I probably won't finish the welding today. So you want to take your time on this stuff to make sure you don't warp the metal. So that's what we're gonna do. Alright, so before I started doing any welding, I was just checking the alignment of everything back here, and I'm not real happy with this actually. Trying to get all this stuff straight here as best I can. I'm not sure I have the door in exactly the right spot. I'm trying to balance this out here. The door's got a bow to it right here, which makes it a little, you can see it right there, makes it a little hard. So this edge is probably a little too high right here, so I have to assume that's got to come down a smidge. But you know, this is okay in through here, I think. But this is the problem area here. If you look here where I've got the door right now, you can see you've got about maybe 1/8 of an inch, 3/16 of an inch. This is sticking out too far here, and you can actually see. Sorry, you're upside down here. There's a bow down right here where that screw is, so this is pulling the panel in right here, and if you look you can actually see the little dent it created right there. So down here on the door, this is looking okay down in through here, and as you come up through here you can see it progressively starts to pull away from the door, and then it comes back again. So this peak is just too far out right here. So I'm standing here pondering whether I should split this to try and pull that gap in. I mean, I really don't want to cut the body line right there, but I have a feeling this thing's just going to be sticking out too far if I don't. And I'm trying to look at it from every angle here. If you come down and look down the side of the car here, if you look at the line here, it looks pretty good, and you can see it progressively getting fatter right there. I mean, it's hard because there's that big hole, but I can't get the camera far enough over here to show you the line directly. And then it looks okay up at the top, so I think that peak is just too far out right there, is what it looks like. But you can see even looking down this line here, this door, so this door is not all that straight either. But I'm probably going to be stuck with the door mostly. So this is my one chance to fix this stuff while I'm at it here. But I really don't want to cut that. And then also, as we've noticed before, this line here slopes down to the floor as it goes back. So I'm probably going to be body working this line anyway. That's just not really a cut I want to make, but I think I kind of have to. Anyway, I'm just thinking about all of this because I have to work that edge right there, and I'd like to just work it once. Another way you can look at it, if you can see here, that body line's pretty parallel, but when you come up here you can see it's not. They don't line up because that's sticking out too far. Choices, choices, choices. So many things to do. Now I'm just gonna I'm just standing here pondering this. Like I said, I don't really know what to do. I just really don't want to cut that, but what I will do, I'm just going to leave this part alone for now. I'm going to work on the rest of this. I'll put that out there for consideration, see what you guys think. If I should cut that, and if so, what to do. The line right here lines up pretty well this way, so if and this back edge, like I said, is too low. So if anything, if I have to recreate this line anyway, if I cut this a little high here, meeting to the ridge line right there, then this piece is going to come in a little bit, this is going to come in a little bit, and then I fold that piece on top. I'll have to trim it a little bit to get the peak to be back in the right place, but that also gives me a chance to raise this line up a little bit in the back as I go. You know, kind of fold this, may have to beat on this a little bit, you know, my nice beautiful sheet metal, but we'll see. And again, this part of the car was hit and rusted and trashed here, so I'm not really sure what the right thing is. So, but if I have to pick something, I guess I'll pick the door and try and match it up to the door. I had this thing lined up level before, but as I was looking at it this morning, the door was really sticking out too far on the bottom. So I was going to have to build this up quite a bit here. And this is where they had a sheep load of Bondo down here. So that may have been, you know, what they did. They just had the door sticking out too far and then just built all this up with Bondo, but obviously I don't want to do that. You can see everything looks like it lines up pretty nicely down here. So except for that. All right, anyway, so enough of that. Like I said, I'll put that out there for your consideration, see what you guys think. Also, thanks to you guys for the comments on the last video. A couple of you commented that I had the welder too far away, the welder tip. So I've dialed the welder back a little bit. I'm gonna try getting up in there nice and tight and see how it goes if I'm blowing through or anything. I got some nice good looking welds in here and a lot of ugly ones. Like that's a really pretty one right there off camera, trust me. So anyway, I'm gonna go through here real quick and try and see if I can get the welder dialed in a little bit better. Okay, I'll turn the wire speed up a little bit. I think I got enough wire there. That's pretty nice, I think. Alright, you see what I was doing there was skipping probably 4 inches or so. Start on one end of the panel, work my way down to the end, blow the whole thing, cool it off, do it again. Let's take a look at the penetration here and see how we're doing. It's hard for me to see here. I think we're doing okay. Doesn't look too bad. Some spots are hotter than others, but those on the end there look real nice. These are the latest ones I've been working on there. Yeah, it looks like it. So I think we're doing okay. Alright, so just keep marching along here. Alright, that's about as tight as I can get the welds without stacking them one on top of each other. I'll let you welding guys look at that and tell me whether you think those welds are any good or not. I think they're pretty good. Could always be better, of course, but I think they're not bad. Penetration is looking real good. Anybody with an Eastwood welder, this is the setting that I'm using here. So just a little under D there, and wire speed's a hair over 4. I actually, earlier when I said I turned up the wire speed, I actually went back after that, turned the wire speed back down a little bit, and turned the current up, because the welds looked like they were sticking out too far, so a little too much wire, not enough penetration, so I tweaked it a little bit, and I think the results are better. Now these welds here look real nice. I'm real happy with those. So anyway, so I don't want to keep stacking metal on top of metal here, so I'm going to pause there and grind this down, and then go back and start working on it after that. Okay, I'm going to start this process off with this guy. This is a 3/8 grinding wheel. I was trying to knock the tops off of these and then come back and hit it with the roll-lock disc. Alright, so here's a look at things after hitting it with that grinding wheel. Obviously trying to stay off of this metal and just getting the welds knocked down. Looks pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and hit it with a 50 grit roll-lock now. Alright, and now after the 50 grit roll lock, it's looking pretty good. Now we're not trying to get this totally flat here. Anytime you're grinding on the welds too much, you're going to be hitting the other metal, so you want to stay away from that till the final step, I think, is what I believe. You might be able to pick this in the camera. Yeah, I think you can here. So I took the sanding disc and just went across it flat like this. I was kind of digging in like this, you see, to stay in the weld, but then at the end I just kind of went across it, and you can see the shiny metal down in here, which is nice. So it's telling me that the metal is giving me the nice concave surface that I want. So it should be really easy to fill this in later. So it's looking pretty nice. So now we'll go through and try and go in between all the welds and start filling this up. So I actually might get this top edge done today. I'm making a lot faster progress than I thought I would. It's going along pretty nice. I don't know if you could see in the videos from before when I was welding. Back in this area here, there's a bunch of times you hit it and just garbage. I can see all this brown crap here. So there's some impurities in the metal here from underneath or something, I don't know what. And when you hit that, it gets all nasty and spatters. Sometimes blows through. There's a few spots in here that were blowing through when I was working on it. Why these welds are bigger than the others, like here. So I probably didn't prep the metal well enough. Probably the quarter panel itself's got crud on it. Anyway, but other than that, and then when I was grinding and sanding, same approach as with the welder. You don't want to stay in one place for too long because the grinding and sanding puts a lot of heat in the metal too. So I'm just trying to move my way along here. This thing is a little whoop-de-doo up and through here, I can tell. I think it started that way just from the screws and stuff. And this quarter panel wasn't very straight to begin with, so it doesn't feel like it's dramatically warping on me or anything. It feels pretty good, given all the dents and stuff that are in it anyway. But it is going to require a decent amount of filler to make this level. And there's a pretty good low spot right there. I don't know if we can see with the camera here. Looking pretty good. Anyway, back to the welder. Alright, I've gone through and ground down the weld. Looks pretty good. Pretty happy. I am going to go through and fill in the holes from the screws now and any other big chunky holes. Most of these aren't holes that go all the way through since it's a flange weld. But I'm going to plug them as much as I can anyway. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. It's kind of hard, you know, when you're grinding to know where to stop. You want this thing to be as flat as possible so the fiberglass filler can go right over the top. You run your hand along it, it's certainly got a lot of whoop-de-doos in it, but you know, some of that's from the screws going in and bending things, and other stuff is kind of hard to tell, but overall it feels pretty good. I don't feel a lot of a lip coming across it, so I think it's down pretty low. I've also been welding down this edge here a little bit, so anyway, go ahead and try and plug in these holes here. All right, that's going to do it for today. I'm going to consider this weld done here. Don't see anything that really requires attention. Down the back, it's pretty good. All the way down to here. So I think we're done. Most of this is nice and low here. You can see the little, hopefully in the reflection, it's a low spot there. This corner is a little wonky here. This is kind of a high spot on the existing quarter panel, and it kind of dips down, and it's probably going to require more filler than I'd like in this area right here to get this to go, but I think it'll be okay. And there's a little bit of rust right here where the spoiler was, so I got to make sure I treat that. But anyway, we are done all along through here. The spot welds are basically, plug welds are basically done. So it's just this front edge here and whatever we decide to do with this. I would appreciate any feedback anybody has on that. Because I think what I have to do is split this guy here to get this edge to line up where I want here. It looks good right now because the door is kind of pushed out a little bit. The door is supposed to be more like that. There you go. There you can see that gap right there. You can see the rest of the panels lined up pretty well when I have the door right there. But that's not. So anyway, then I guess the question is, do I want to cut it right along that seam, or should I, since this line on this panel drops, as I talked about in previous videos, draw the line here where I want that line to go and cut it there. Then I can basically bend this metal here flat to line up with this edge here, and then pull this part of the panel out a little bit to line up with that back piece. Or maybe I don't have to pull it out since this has to come in, and just basically mash it all back together and then weld it along that line. Or is it best to try and stay away from the body line and cut it a little higher up or a little lower down or something, so I preserve that edge there, even though I don't want to do that anyway, because this edge is not straight either, it's turned down. So I think the right thing to do is cut it, start at the corner there, and then come up back here along whatever line the edge is supposed to be. And then just, finagle it around, because when I push this back in, it's going to move the edge up or down depending on how I cut it. But anyway, let me know what you think, and we'll attack it tomorrow hopefully and keep going on it. But it came together a heck of a lot faster than I thought. I didn't think I'd get this well done today, but it's done. And it was only about 3 hours of work, so it wasn't too bad. Anyway, that's going to do it. So thanks everybody, and I will talk to you soon.